Welcome back to Link's Awakening. Bracho's joining us, but he's not playing.
He's not this time.
No.
The baton has been passed.
Sticks are still in my
By
hands.
force.
Really, though, would you know
It's
where
a
we are
conspiracy.
and what we're needing to do?
That was the fun of it. I didn't know.
It's still fun.
It is. It'll still be fun. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. That sounds like a
was
song.
me getting comfortable.
Sometimes after playing our Nuzlocke, that attitude of fear continues on to other games where I'm like, if I die, that's it. And then I realize that that's
Hey,
not the
that
case.
just continues to real life.
It does.
If I die,
I'm
that's
the
it.
opposite in real life as I am in video games. In video games, I'm just like, fuck it. Let's do it.
Let's fucking go in.
I'm not scared.
I
If
ain't
I die,
scared.
Whatever.
What are you scared of, Bracho?
5 golden
Everything.
In real life, you're just scared of everything?
I have a fucking anxiety disorder, bro. Of course I am.
You're just scared of any
He's scared
small
of being
thing?
scared. That's what anxiety
Scared
is.
of being scared.
What if you ran out of gas? Would you be
Or
scared?
just randomly physical. I'll just be sitting there. Yeah. I'll just
Dave
be sitting there.
dude.
I'll just be
We already
sitting there,
talked about
and then
this.
all of a sudden, like, I'll have a little palpy, and then my heart will just start beating really fast,
Inside of his chest, we zoom in.
and then
am the Senate.
and then I get this feeling of like dread and like something bad's gonna happen. I'm just like, and that's
When did you start realizing that you had like anxiety?
When did you start realizing that
when I
you
thought
were-
about it, I've always had some sort. Like when I was a little kid, I was
Adolescent?
anxious. Like I couldn't like what we always had those like shit you'd have to sell for like sports or stuff like that.
Like those candy bars? And stuff?
Yeah, or pizzas or fucking
Oh, like coupon
or
books?
coupon books. Yeah, like all that shit. Like a lot of people just went door to door. I was too afraid to do
Freaked
that.
out,
I couldn't
'cause
do that.
Strangers are strangers.
Well, yeah, it was just weird. And like I would dread calling friends on the phone in case their parents asked or answered.
And he'd be like,
Yeah.
don't
Who
know.
is this?
I could.
Who's
So I've
trying to
always
contact
had
my
like
child?
some sort since I was.
Why
a
do you want
kid.
to talk to my child?
But
I don't
like
know. I'm a child.
in college, I think was like one of the first times that I remember having one.
Oh.
It was just like one of those like moments where you're just like you fucked yourself, kind of. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not doing well right now, and then you just have this. Then it was just this whole like existential like, oh,
spiral?
like, what
Like
am
a
I gonna do? Yeah, yeah. So then I
downward.
was freaking out. That I think was probably the first one I recognized.
What does it feel like when you have your panic attack?
Like I'm having a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you had a heart attack?
No.
Do
But like what you
can
think a heart attack would feel
What
like.
you think one would feel like your heart just like beating out of your chest?
Yeah, or
Maybe, like,
sometimes
going numb.
sometimes it's not even like beating hard, like like to the point where I notice it. Sometimes like just my chest muscles get tight and shit, or like because it's not always the same thing. It can be varying amounts of the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I'll get a heavy chest, and then like it'll feel like I'm having trouble breathing. It's all because your fight or flight mechanism's been triggered. And it's got a flaw where it just kind of triggers on its own with no impetus. And it
Have you been monitored for
Yeah.
this?
and it and when that happens, your body is craving oxygen for whether you have to fight or run.
That's why people hyperventilate.
Yep. And like the other thing too is like you get like sensory overload when that happens too. Like you can smell more, hear more, see more, like feel more.
burns.
Like because again you're in fight or flight, your eyes widen to take in more light and because you're gonna run and shit. And
Which
like,
is a lot of the basis for autistic
yeah,
things, because their neurotransmitters are firing constantly.
Yep.
That's why if you look at their brain scans, if you look at the heat signatures on an autistic brain, it's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yep.
But if you look at a typical person, it's kind of dim.
Yep.
But theirs is just inflamed, they call it.
Yep.
Their brains are just working overtime.
Right.
And if you, because that's why they have sensory issues. Like if you touch them,
Yep.
they either get like shivers or
Yep.
like even just a touch of their hair is
Yeah.
like the most excruciating thing ever because their sensors are just crazy.
I get it to some extent. I don't know, not probably to the degree, but when I've had like anxiety before, like any pressure or touching, like if I'm sitting in my car and like have my seatbelt on, like I'll feel super like heavy on the chest, and then like move the seatbelt and it'll feel better because it feels like that pressure's more. Or like one time I was having one and I was around my family, and my mom like rubbed my back, and that just started to like
Agitate you?
yeah, and it's a weird thing. But yeah, you think you're dying essentially, you're at risk of dying. So that's where your mind
scary.
goes. Your body is tensing up and doing all this shit. Like sometimes I'll just kind of like fidget around or something if I have a little bit. Like getting up and moving. You already have the fight or flight thing. Since that's active, you already have the inclination to get out, wanting to get out of the situation you're in, thinking that like so if I had one right now.
What was your safe space?
Like I would go up. Well, first of all I'd separate, right?
Yep, separate entirely.
That's another thing I knew I had it because if I was around my family for a long time, like there's a joke here, but like around a group of people at least.
Yeah.
Usually it's my family because that's the largest group of people I'm usually around. I have to kind of go fuck off for a while.
Yeah, and you know what?
And recharge.
That's something that I
The
don't
social
like
thing?
to bring up the autistic thing, but that's exactly. I've read into this, and I
Yep.
have family members that are autistic. They feel like they're being they're feeling like their family's disappointed if they leave, but the family knows like they need time to decompress.
Yep.
So like when there's sensory stuff going on with an autistic person, like there's so much input, they have to just like dismiss themselves from the situation, sit down and just quietly like play with something, stim, like
Yep.
just let it out, let all the energy like just course through, and then they can go back.
Yep.
They just need those times to
Pretty much
decompress.
just like that too.
Yeah.
And
Do you do it
but
as
mine's
much where you need
mine's
to
more
like
it's just a social anxiety.
do you need to
thing.
sleep or do you need to
No, I don't
play
need
with
to
something?
sleep. I just fuck off and be on my own for a little bit, whether it's like watch TV or noodle around on guitar or like read something, fuck around on my phone.
That's a good outlet, a guitar.
Just for a little bit, and then I come back. But it so yeah, like I've had things like that forever. But what was I gonna say?
Eric, you're about to see your favorite screen of the entire game.
Good.
And I think you missed it in our last playthrough. Here's your safe space.
And dudes, spoiler alert, it is Wednesday, my dude. Right now.
Right now it is.
It is Wednesday.
Très bien.
Put him in.
Oh,
See,
the joke here is that he's gonna
Fargonauts
eat
and
these
leaves.
frogs, isn't it?
No, this is another like
S'il vous
cameo
plaît.
from a game that was never released in America.
Yeah.
Both the dude in blue and the frogs are like a reference to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called For Whom the Bell Toads.
For whom for like something like the frog, but for whom the bell or I don't it was a
For
weird
whom the
title.
frog croaks. That'd be great.
I named one of our episodes For Whom the Bell Toads.
Good.
Is when we actually visited that house.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Bradshaw.
I completely forgot where we were going with that.
With your what?
You asked what it felt like.
Yeah? And
I
your,
said that.
your initial, like,
You said that.
Oh yeah, the everything
Decompressions.
expands. Yeah. Oh, I was saying about the walking thing. That opens you up a little bit. Like opens your lungs up more, and you're.
do you ever have to, like, go
breathing.
on a walk?
I don't have to go on a walk, but like I said, I'll separate for a while. Oh yeah, but I will. Yeah.
I think
Or
my
I'll
dad
pace.
my
I'll
dad
pace.
did that, and he went on a walk, and I think he was having an anxiety or panic attack, and he just walked around the block halfway, and halfway around the block on the other side of the street, or like behind our house, basically around that side of the block, vomited like profusely, and just like I
Dude,
feel
I've definitely
better.
had anxiety barfs. Dude,
Yeah.
It's a thing, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't eat for like 3 months because of I obviously ate like little bits of stuff, but like 3 months because my body wasn't. I like after my first like big one that happened, like it was in like,
Hey!
my body was in almost like a constant state of it.
Mhm.
So I was worried, and anytime I'd eat something, I'd fucking bolt.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, don't bolt now.
I know.
Maybe bolt.
I'm better now, everybody.
Maybe bolt next time.
Next time, and we'll be back
Yeah,
with
well,
more
We're gonna
cutting the
play
grass.
More cutting grass.
just what you wanted to listen to while watching the Fantasy of Zelda. The horrible feeling of a panic attack.
And I just fell down a hole.